Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2. Bad. That was a bad one. That felt worst of the lot because it's Manchester United. And the maddest thing is, was it our best performance of the lot? Yeah, probably. Does that matter? It probably won't matter. It's important probably to slot in as team when they get in, you know, tomorrow morning, and they look it over and they try to work out how they stop us from losing football matches. Maybe they look at the stats and look at the XG, they look at all those things and say, on another day Liverpool would have won that game. And that might be true, but it doesn't change the feelings of being sat here in Anfield with the away end filled with really, really happy Manx. It's basically like one of the levels of hell. The only one really lower than that is being at Old Trafford and it's being like this. Liverpool should have won this game. They should have done. But of course, when you can see the goal really early on, then you're giving yourself a mountain to climb. We really struggle at the moment to play against teams that play a back 3/back 5. But we should have been able to get around their midfield more, and we definitely got better. We were okay. We were okay at moments in that first half, and you can build on that. And in some ways we did, but in some ways we just didn't. You know, key performers not performing, and the key amongst them is Mo Salah. Mad how out of form Mo is. Mad, like stunning in fact how out of form Mo Salah is. I'm at this point where I don't really know. I've had plenty of conversations. I have so much sympathy for him in terms of everything that he's going through, but he's missing things that Mo Salah in form just scores and we don't worry about. Cody Gakpo missing a chance late on as well. There's the chances are there for Liverpool to win and we don't take them, and in that regard we've got ourselves to blame, and Arne Slot's got big issues because he keeps having to make huge tactical changes in football matches to try and make things happen, and that breeds uncertainty. And one thing, the slight positives I'll say, is Federico Chiesa comes on again and does well. Adam brought Salah up for him. Ekitike was great when he came on as well, and Vert's really, really bright. So we've got players who can help us win more football matches, but we very much need to get in the business of winning more football matches pretty sharpish, because teams that win 3 league games, or teams that lose 3 games in the league before November, don't win the Premier League. It's as simple as that. So yeah, Liverpool vastly, wildly, hugely need to improve. Little addendum, I got kicked out my seat. Look, it feels terrible, it feels really, really bad. It is the worst losing to them. The biggest challenge facing Slot in the coming weeks is when you've got those defeats under your belt, belief fades fast, which is mad because, you know, Liverpool are still the reigning champions. There are so many champions and there are so many great footballers in that squad and in that side. But there was a tetchiness in the crowd tonight. And okay, I wouldn't say I didn't believe that we could turn it around and win it, and when we got the equaliser I certainly felt like there was only one team likely to win it. It certainly felt like we were the team in the ascendancy, but when they scored the second, people left, people got off from the game, and that is an endemic thing that happens in crowds, and that spreads quickly, and that's something that you can't really factor in as much as the start of the season. In terms of the teams that Liverpool played have been very difficult, in terms of the style of play of teams we've come up against has been difficult. You've got to find more ways to win. You know, could Liverpool go more attacking from the start? Maybe that's an option, because it's clearly something we keep shifting to in substitutions. If you know that a team are going to set up that way, then can you go heavier? Can you start 2 up front? I would like to see some different things. I would definitely like to see more Chiesa. I'd like to see Ekitike tried in place of Cody Gakpo. And look, Gakpo has a decent enough game today. He does. He should really be the match winner. But yeah, we have to be very, very careful, because all good feeling in football doesn't last long, and support doesn't last long, sadly, as much as I think we're a great fan base and we are amongst the best in the world for it in terms of being behind the team and being behind the players. Yeah, we'll have to be careful, because if we don't start to get some wins on the board, I'm not saying it's going to lead to him getting sacked or whatever, but it becomes an extra uphill thing that you've got to battle against. You're starting games at 0-0, but you feel 1-0 down because there's a pressure on you that you've got to go and win, and Liverpool's margins for error decrease every single time that you lose it or don't win a game of football. So yeah, that's a little undercurrent that's worrying for me moving out of this. That's now 4 defeats on the bounce. Is horrendous. I've felt this since the COVID season, and obviously there's so many and I'm feeling that. Doesn't feel the same. It feels like I really don't know. I don't have the answers in the comments below, because I saw some good things with Liverpool, and maybe it is just a personnel thing. Maybe it is trusting more in Tanekatike and Isak, and maybe letting Salah have a couple of games off and just going with Frimpong, because he looked exciting when he came on as well. I really don't know, but it feels indecisive, and it feels like the manager's throwing stuff at the wall, trying to make something happen, and it kind of works, but it doesn't feel like a solid basis. It doesn't feel like our plan A is working. Our plan A needs to be better, otherwise we're going to have more struggles in the league in the coming weeks. But I remain an optimist, just about. But yeah, I could really do with Liverpool winning the game of football, because it's fucking horrible when they don't.